Swimming, 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 mama, swimming. Swimming, 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 mama, swimming. Forward, 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 mama, forward. Forward, 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 mama, forward. Ati reverse, 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 mama, reverse. Reverse, 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 mama, reverse. Swimming, 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 mama, swimming. Swimming, 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 mama, swimming. Forward, 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 mama, forward. Forward, 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 mama, forward. At the reverse, reverse,
Health insurance.
This notice of compliance from the National Health Insurance Management Authority, NEMA, serves to inform the public that all Zambian citizens and established residents of 18 years of age and above are required to register to the National Health Insurance with the NHI Act number 2 of 2018. In this regard, all self-employed register, while all employers must register their employees within 30 days of employment and thereafter make the prescription and contribution to the National Health Insurance is mandatory by law. Be compliant, pay on time to avoid prosecution without further notice. National Health Insurance, leaving no one behind.
Wow, that over there is a very nice Ford. Have you seen it?
Of course. I have been looking at it since we got here. My worry is how people manage such vehicles and where they buy genuine parts from.
I'm sure there's nowhere else apart from Shuma Auto Parts. They are the only supplier of genuine Ford and Mazda parts, which comes straight from the manufacturer. They have everything in stock for both latest and ordinary Mazda and Ford. They also stock service parts such as diesel filters, aircon filters, diesel pumps, steering pumps, turbochargers, engine overhaul gaskets, suspension parts, and body parts. If they don't have parts you're looking for, they can order within 5 to 10 working days. To top it up, Shuma Auto Parts also supply Maxxis tires and CST tires.
Really? But where are they found?
They are found on Chandram Sonda Road, Cruiser Auto Workshop in Lusaka. Call on 0979 192057 and 0960 747235. Email shumaautoparts@gmail.com. Shuma Auto Parts for all your genuine vehicle parts.
The Happy World of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FMA News at 18:30 with Judith Mwape. The headlines. The government and the IMF have reached a staff level agreement on economic policies and reforms. Government reviews the National Food and Nutrition Program document. The ANC dilemma, which would determine South Africa's future. And now the news in detail. The government and the IMF have reached a staff-level agreement on economic policies and reforms following the successful third review of the extended credit facility program. This staff-level agreement includes a request by the government to access an additional 30% of quota to preserve macroeconomic stability and support response to external shocks. Finance and National Planning Minister Stumbako Msokotwane says the staff-level agreement, subject to approval by the IMF Executive Board, will guide program implementation for the next 12 months and trigger the fourth disbursement of about $187 million. Dr. Msokotwane says the IMF noted that the ongoing drought has created a more challenging economic environment and therefore commended Zambia for targeting emergency relief to the most vulnerable whilst sustaining fiscal consolidation efforts to restore debt sustainability, tighten monetary policy to curb inflation while maintaining exchange rate flexibility, and strive to create an environment that promotes private sector development. The Zambia Police Service has refuted recent allegations circulating on social media regarding Mr. Bowman Lusambo and the alleged distribution of Hungry Lion food packs to police officers in Kabwe. Police Public Relations Officer Ray Hamunga says contrary to what has been reported, Mr. Lusambo did purchase Hungry Lion food packs in Kabwe. However, these food packs were not intended for police officers. He says at the time of the incident, police officers were engaged in routine patrols in the vicinity of the Hungry Lion outlet, adding that Mr. Lusambo did not interact with the officers regarding the food packs, nor did he distribute any food to them. Mr. Hamunga says the dumped food packs by Mr. Lusambo was later given to members of the public who were present around the Hungry Lion outlet. He maintains that at no point were the food packs handed over to or received by the police officers on duty.
At no point were the food packs handed over to or received by the police officers on duty. What Mr. Lusambo did was to dump the food packs and walked away, later got into his vehicle and drove off. Social media allegations. The allegations suggesting that Mr. Lusambo bought food for police officers are unfounded and misleading. Such misinformation can harm the public's perception of both the police and individual police officers involved. The Zambia Police Service takes such false reports seriously and urges the public to verify facts before spreading unverified information. Our commitment remains to serve the public with integrity and transparency.
Meanwhile, the Anti-Corruption Commission has seized a motor vehicle belonging to former Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusambo. The seizure comes in the wake of investigations that the Commission is conducting against Mr. Lusambo on allegations of possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime. Confirming the development, ACC Head of Corporate Communications, Timothy Mono, says the motor vehicle seized is an unregistered Range Rover. Investigations in this matter are ongoing. Mr. Mono says Mr. Lusambo is also currently facing a number of cases in the courts of law relating to possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime. Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary for Administration, Christopher Simonga, says addressing malnutrition is critical in attaining the Vision 2030 in the country. Officiating at the review of the National Food and Nutrition Program document, Professor Simonga says malnutrition in all its forms poses a significant threat to the health of the country. He says the review of the National Food and Nutrition Program document is therefore critical as it will help the country address challenges in the sector. Professor Simonga says in the face of these challenges, the government has enacted the Food and Nutrition Act No. 3 of 2020, aimed at ensuring food and security in the country. He says the document brings about a coordinated framework in which the issues of nutrition can be adequately handled.
The National Food and Nutrition Program document that we gather to review this week represents a comprehensive framework, a framework through which we can coordinate our efforts, mobilize our resources, and implement evidence-based interventions to promote food and nutrition security as well as combat malnutrition in all its manifestations. Ladies and gentlemen, the success of this program will not be measured by the mere existence of a document or the number of strategies outlined within its pages.
Mayor of Lusaka, Chilando Chitangala, says the 2024 edition of World Environmental Day is premised on the need to restore land and foster drought resilience under the slogan, Our Land, Our Future. Speaking during the Lusaka City Council tree planting exercise prior to the Environmental Day, in conjunction with Airtel Zambia in Lusaka, Ms. Chitangala says urban greening is one of the efforts being put in place as a measure to fight deforestation and as a way to restore land. She has further stated that trees act as an effective sound barrier that can limit noise pollution, provide food and medicine, as well as complete livelihoods. Ms. Chitangala has commended Airtel Zambia for collaborating with the local authority in raising awareness on the need to plant trees, stating that these actions significantly contributes to averting the adverse effects of climate change.
After all, we all have a huge responsibility to work towards conserving our environment for the generations to come. This is the reason, MD, why we choose schools, because we need to impact all these ideas, all this information in the future, and the future is the future. Once again, thank you, MD, and your team for making this tree planting exercise possible. We hope to continue to donate trees.
Meanwhile, Airtel Zambia Managing Director Hassan Badei says it is everyone's responsibility in the country to preserve trees by applying protective approaches such as tree planting, and as such, the company is committed to planting more than 300 trees in Lusaka, an initiative which will be extended to other parts of the country.
It's no longer there. Did you see any Airtel scratch card somewhere there? Some customers, they don't like it, but at end, that this is about protecting the environment, and any little help. Don't underestimate some of the small deeds. Anything can help to make a big impact, even just facing the scratch card and moving to the digital top-up. This one, the other thing, we are committed also to reduce the carbon emission in our site and saving the environment by that. Going more into solar, going more to the grid, and this is our activity.
Another story trending this evening. The Electoral Commission of Zambia has launched the continuous voter registration exercise in Kafue district and 9 other districts aimed at updating the voters' register. The opposition Patriots for Economic Progress insists that there is nothing false, untrue, or defamatory about the statement the party issued on 2nd June 2024. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
African Life Financial Services Limited has launched a campaign called Invest in Your Tomorrow Today, aimed at empowering individuals to start their investment journey by opening Mpile Unit Trust account and receiving a matching investment of up to 1,000 kwacha added to their initial investment. The campaign, which is expected to run from 4th June to 31st July 2024, also aims to bridge the financial inclusion and literacy gap. Speaking during the launch this morning, Company Chief Executive Officer Jonathan Imakando says a sum of up to 200,000 kwacha has been set aside to reward new clients and will be invested directly into the Mpile Unit Trust Fund of the investor's choice alongside their initial investment. Mr. Imakando explains that the lowest initial amount a person can invest is 200 kwacha, aimed to encourage students to equally invest with a minimum investment period of 12 months. He says the Mpile Unit Trust provides a scale which allows investors to have access to a diversified portfolio with reduced risk, professional investment management, and competitive returns.
With consistent investments over time, coupled with the dedicated and professional management by Aflife, investors would then be in a better position to achieve their financial aspirations. Campaign acknowledges that what we do today has the power to impact, to shape, and to design the tomorrow we desire. Key features of the promotional campaign include that individuals can open an investment account with as little as 500 kwacha, and for students, it's as little as 200 kwacha as their initial investment.
That ends the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
In our foreign news, South Africa's governing African National Congress, ANC, is faced with a tricky dilemma which will determine the future of the country after it spectacularly lost its parliamentarian majority in last week's election. Having won only 40% of the vote, the ANC needs to find a coalition partner to secure a majority in parliament which will support its choice of president and legislative plans. One option would be to strike a deal with the second biggest party, the center-right Democratic Alliance, DA, which won 22% of the vote. Our correspondent, Tebongo Mukwena in Joburg, has more.
The current South African government has 13 days left to appoint a president, deputy president, and the cabinet. The African National Congress has been in coalition talks with political parties after it failed to get a majority. Now, former ABSA Director Sipho Pitjana, writing for News 24, said the ANC must come to the realization that it needs to put the country first to represent them in parliament later this week on Thursday. The first thing will immediately have to elect a president for the 7th administration. Since there is no majority, presidency is practically up for grabs. Reporting for the Happy World of 5FM Radio, this is Deborah from Johannesburg, South Africa.
And finally, in sports news, Zambia winger Lamek Banda is in Dubai for his rehabilitation. Banda missed Lisano League matches. The 23-year-old will work with a personal physiotherapy whilst in Dubai. Zamford reports that the injury has also kept him out of Zambia's FIFA 2026 World Cup qualifiers against Morocco and Tanzania. The combative winger was one of Zambia's shining stars at the Africa Cup of Nations. Another weather report brought to you by Class Econ.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 1700 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumba Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Central, Eastern, Muchinga, Northern, Wapula, and Copperbelt provinces are mainly clear, windy at times, and mild. Southern, Western, Northwestern, and Lusaka provinces are mainly clear, slightly windy, and mild. That ends the weather report.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
And that weather report brings us to the end of the news this evening. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. government and the IMF have reached a staff-level agreement on economic policies and reforms. Government reviews the National Food and Nutrition Program document. The ANC dilemma, which would determine South Africa's future. For more news, follow us on behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department. Thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Judith Mwabe. Good evening.